everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, How to Create a Customer, Vendor, or Employee Portal with Office 365. My name is Brenda, and I'll be your moderator today. Now, before we begin, I just have a few noteworthy items and tips for GoToWebinar. Voice audio is enabled only for the presenters, so when you do join, you will be on mute. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, we encourage you to ask them. We're going to leave about 10-15 minutes at the end of the webinar for remaining questions. If you have anything you'd like to ask our presenter, you can use your Q&A panel on your GoToWebinar panel. You can also use the chat feature as well if you're having any issues with that. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, so if you have any team members or colleagues who couldn't attend today, we will be distributing the webinar recording after the session. With that, I'd like to introduce our presenter today, Mike Marson from Dynamic Point. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for the introduction. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. A quick introduction on myself, and then we'll get right into the discussing portals using Office 365. Mike Marson, I head up business development here for Dynamic Point. 15 or so years experience with various ERP applications. So obviously well-versed in the various functionality and features that they offer. As far as us at Dynamic Point, what our focus is extending the reach of those ERP and CRM systems using Office 365. So today we're talking about a portal application, but we have other applications as well as invoice automation, expense management, and our acquisition product as well that all extend the reach of your ERP or CRM system using Office 365. So again, today we are talking portals, and that will be our focus. What is the objective of a portal? Why are we doing this? And that really depends on the type of portal that we are deploying. What we'll soon see is when we start going through our product can be used for really any type of quote unquote portal. And I say quote unquote portal because a portal means different things to different people. It's one of those words that gets thrown around very generically. And our product has evolved to support that the way we support that is basically having a portal platform. The same portal product can be used for either a customer, vendor, or employee portal. It's the same product, it's just different integrations, different calls to actions, and different use cases that we're supporting. So let's go through each of these individually really quick. In the case of a customer portal, usually the intent there is to manage their company information, allow customers to see their records, update contact information, new email addresses, new addresses, things like that, new team members, potentially share contracts and agreements, order entry. Maybe I want them to give the ability to create orders and submit new orders that go directly to my company. Share such things as inventory and product details. Payment processing. I want them to see their invoices and make payments on those using integrated payment processors, as well as the concept of a help desk. Maybe I want them to log in, submit new tickets, check on the status of existing tickets, etc. Vendor side, some of the same carryover from a customer portal, but some differences. Definitely managing the company information will be applicable. As opposed to contracts and agreements, it's terms and conditions. Confirm POs and edit POs. So now as opposed to interacting with the sales orders and invoices in the system, I'm interacting with the purchasing side, purchase orders, receipts, things of that. Payment status. So obviously I'm not expecting payment from vendors, I'm paying them, but maybe I want to give them the ability to submit new invoices or check on the status of existing invoices and look at those payments in the system. As well as confirm shipment, maybe confirm shipment of POs, put in shipment information such that I know when to expect various items that my vendor will be sending me. Employ, same idea, just different application. Employee forms and handbooks, time entry, project management components, insights the company's operations, inventory levels, bill of materials if you're a manufacturing organization, various data that resides within your ERP, maybe financials, reporting, and analytics that I want to share with that broader audience of my company. The benefits, obviously the previous slide discussed why we're doing this or what the objective is, but what are the benefits that we're looking for? Really, one of the biggest one is the demand. Customers are expecting this, vendors are expecting this. So from the sake of a customer service perspective, we want to give them the best experience possible. And they're requesting that we have this data online for them and give them the ability to access it. Other savings, right? Hopefully we're hoping to save money from an internal employee perspective. Less people calling into our organization because this information is readily available for them online. So there's no need for me to staff based on the various calls coming in and having people look up invoices or customer service reps, things like that, if all of that information is available online on a portal. Increased efficiency, lowering costs, less phone calls, less emails. And then the one that we already touched on, just improve the customer relations or partner relations with key vendors, such that from a company perspective, people are having a better experience and different ways to interact with me based on their need and their desire. We are enabling all of this using Office 365. And the question comes, why? Why are we using Office 365 as this platform? The reason being is, well, several things. One is it's a quick deployment. The Office 365 framework is something that is readily available for us. It is quite price effective. The ability to share the portal built on Office 365 with my customers and vendors requires no additional licenses. They're considered external users in the eyes of Microsoft, so there's no additional license requirements. There's lower costs associated to it. I get to use all of this out-of-the-box functionality provided by the Office 365 framework, and that gives this platform that's extremely flexible. So that, in conjunction with the portal product that we will be demonstrating today, gives the integration with the ERP and CRM system, while in conjunction using all of the features and functionality provided by the Office 365 framework. And right about now, I'm going to go ahead and launch a quick poll just to see how many of our audience members are using this Office 365. So hopefully you should see a question prompting you now regarding if you're using Office 365. So far it looks like most everyone is. Give a few more minutes. So a few people that are not, but it looks like the vast majority of you are most certainly knowledgeable of Office 365 and hopefully its features and functionality. We'll ask one more question. And that is, if you're using Office 365, are you currently just using it internally, or are you also using it to collaborate with customers, vendors, partners, people outside of your organization? So it looks like the majority of people are using it for collaboration outside of their company, but not as dominant as those of you that are using it. Okay, it looks based on the last responses, we're right about half and half. So half the people using it within the organization and half people not. We'll go ahead and close that. And then just a quick question here on what ERP application you would be using. So if you are trying to collaborate with information using your ERP application, which one would it be? And I promise that's the last question. Okay, looks like the vast majority of our audience is using Dynamics as well as SAP and a few JD Edwards as well. All right, we will go ahead and close that. Move forward with our presentation here. Thank you everyone for your responses. So business-to-business portals using SharePoint. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty and what is the advantages of using this business-to-business platform and collaborating with either customers or vendors using the SharePoint application. Well, there's a lot of things, and I hope to demonstrate some of those today. But the basics is from a branding perspective. There's logos, there's corporate colors. I get to brand this site however I want and share that with my customers or vendors. And it should be a representation, hopefully, of my corporate branding. So it should mirror my company website and things like that. That's obviously very easy to do. We will demonstrate a little bit of the branding features today just to show you some quick options there. The security, the site is only accessible by those that I invite it to. So this is not a publicly facing site that everyone could go to. I'm sharing very secure information, such things as customer orders, purchase orders on the vendor side, potentially financial data such as their invoices. I don't want everyone having the access just to see this on the public web. So we're leveraging that SharePoint platform and Office 365 for the authentication and the security associated to it. Workflow, integration with such things as approval, notifications, text notifications, mobile applications, etc., comes with Office 365, and I'll showcase a lot of that today, as well as all the features of SharePoint. It's a full content management system, the ability to add web parts, reporting, document libraries, all of these standard features that come with the SharePoint platform that would be applicable for a extranet-facing portal. So with no further ado, we will go ahead and close out of the presentation and go into our start. I'm going to be changing some here. So this is going to be our template that we're going to use today for a company facing, an external facing, in this case, customer portal. So I will switch over towards the end of this and show a vendor portal as well as I have a manufacturing supplier portal set up. So I will shift gears and show that towards the end of this presentation. But for the sake of the bulk of what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be using a customer portal for demonstration's sake. So a few things to note. Obviously, we mentioned such things as the branding, the logos, all of those, of course, have been changed. So if I just get my pin here, easy things such as adding my logo, the name of my company. You see here I have various calls to action, the ability to see some sales orders, see invoices, create new support tickets, look at inventory, things like that, all within a system, as well as my contact information and update that contact information. So here I have the contact dynamic point, potential to schedule a demonstration, manage the company, manage my profile. So right now, this is just the template that I'm starting with. It's really nothing more than an Office 365 site at this point in time. These various calls to action are going to invoke integrations with the ERP system, and we will look at those in a bit. For the time being, or for the short run, we're going to do just some of the branding, add some of the standard SharePoint features to this that we could add that are going to enable our portal, and then we'll focus more on the integration with the ERP data as being the latter half of that. So let's start getting things started here. One thing on the look and feel, it's easy enough to change the appearance of this really quick. So maybe I want to change my theme. Maybe I like my green color, it better matches my logo of Contoso, so I could go ahead and do that. So obviously a simple change there, logos and things, but hopefully that gives you the idea of some of the things that are capable. Let's go ahead and edit the page, and we're going to start adding some more content to this as well. So I click the page in edit mode here. I am signed in as an administrator. So let's say in addition to our contact information, we want to add some document libraries for collaboration. I will go ahead and add an existing document library that I already have configured on the site. Here you can see I have contracts and specifications that maybe I could collaborate with my customers. Looks like I don't have any contracts, but I do have a sample specification added that I could share with them. So in addition to that, maybe we want to add a new one to the other side of this, and let's do like a news feed just to share the latest and greatest company information. So here I just added a news feed saying welcome to our new portal. In addition to this, maybe we want to turn this more into a dashboard. I can include some KPI reporting. So I'm going to go ahead and embed a Power BI report. So bear with me here. I do have a Power BI report created. I'm going to copy that code from that Power BI report and embed that directly into my site. So here I have a store sales overview sample report. Obviously, this would be filtered based off the authenticated customer, so we're only showing the information that's applicable to them. We have some documents. We've had that news feed that we added, so that's looking a little bit more interactive. We could enable comments if we want to have the ability for people to comment on our site. Another nice feature is the ability to add chat. So maybe I want to make my portal even more collaborative and add a live chat. There are several of these available, and they're all pretty price effective. The one I'm going to happen to use is one called Live Chat. As you can see, they give me just a simple code that I could embed on my site. And if I enable my chat, I will start accepting them really quick and republish this page. If all works well, you can see now I have a live chat capability, so I can interact directly with someone from customer support or maybe accounting if it's invoicing related. They could chat directly from my portal. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that chat. Other things that we could add, let's start talking about the ability to integrate potentially like a help desk form. So a help desk form, we're going to create using Microsoft Forms. So I already have an existing one, but we'll create a new one here for the sake of demonstration. So this would be the capability to add something that does not exist within your ERP. Maybe I just wanted to collect some data from my customers or vendors. It's not really something that's tied to any data within my ERP application. I'm just trying to collect some feedback. So it could be a satisfaction survey. In this case, I'm going to do a help desk questionnaire really quick, and we're going to go ahead and add that to our portal. This is using Microsoft Forms, which is again an Office 365 product. So let's go ahead and add a few fields here, such as a subject. Maybe you can make that required. Priority. We'll keep it really simple, just say high and low. Oops, not love. And how about an area? So this is a finance related question, or billing, I guess would be another way to call it. Is it technical related? And then maybe customer service oriented. And we'll add one more field of a description of the issue. All right, so we have our fields. Let's go ahead and share this. I want everyone to see this, not just people within my organization, because clearly I'm going to be sharing it externally. I'm going to go ahead and copy the URL. And then I'm going to go back to my portal. So as you can see here, I already have a support ticket icon. If I click on this icon, it's actually just going to take me to a SharePoint page. So if you see my URL here, I just created a sample page called Help Desk Support. I'm going to edit that. I want my form directly inserted on this page so I could collect data in regards to what the support request is. And then of course I could kick off a flow and a workflow associated to that, such that I could maybe route it to the appropriate people, notify someone such that I could take action on this request. So I can go ahead and insert Microsoft Forms, add an existing, I already created it. All it really cares about is that URL that I just copied, and we'll put that directly on the page. So I'll go ahead and republish that. So Now I have a help desk form that is integrated with my portal. Like I said, there's obviously a lot of things I could do with that. I could use workflow to notify individuals, escalations, things like that. But now if I click on the support ticket, you can see I have a fully functional help desk support form. Let's see, next let's talk about some of the other features in hiding some of the Office 365 components. So it does say SharePoint across the top here, some things that maybe I don't really care for my customers to see. They don't need to know that this is a SharePoint-based portal. They just want to think of it as a portal. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And I have a simple script here for hiding some of the branding associated to that. I will save it and republish it. And as you can see, we blanked out the Office 365 component. We have chat. We have such things as integrated Power BI reporting, document libraries, new feeds, comments. So we've added a little bit more of a rich experience to the portal, making it a little bit more collaborative, as well as the support ticket. So now I'd like to shift gears and talk about the integration component, right? So we've obviously demonstrated some of the features. Obviously, there's a lot more that are offered with Office 365 and SharePoint, but some of the features that are just capable with the standard Office 365 functionality and features. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about what our portal product brings to the picture. And what our portal product brings is the integration with the information as it resides in your ERP application. So right now, sales orders, invoices, all of these are just dead links, but we want to go ahead and start adding real-time integration with that information. So to do that, in the interest of time, I'm going to shift out of our portal that we've been working in thus far and shift to one that I already have configured. So again, something to note that I introduced is the data that is being integrated and that is displayed here is really configurable. This is a platform for a portal. Any of the fields that you see here, any of the data types that I'm integrating with, hopefully by the time I show you my different use cases, a vendor portal, a supplier portal, you'll see really all of that is using the same product. It's just a matter of configuration of what the information is I want to expose in the portal. In addition to the information I want to expose, do I want to enable users just to have read-only access or edit capabilities or even create capabilities of that information as it resides in the ERP? Now, a thing to note is our portal is not storing any of this information. It is only a gateway into it. It's a window into your ERP or CRM application. So let's start diving into some of these samples that I have set up here. So if I click on sales orders is going to be the orders that are applicable for my authenticated user. So of course we are filtering these based on the authenticated user, and we're obtaining those from a real-time fashion from the ERP application. So here's the orders that are applicable for my customer ID. We could obviously drill into the line items. I should drill into the order, maybe see some details here. Look at the line items. As you can see, this particular integration, or this particular one, is really only read-only. I can't do anything other than see the information. So I'm sharing that information with my customers, but I'm not giving them a capability to edit anything. I will show you some other ones where we give them not only edit capability, but create capability as well. Another icon you see here is print. What print does is it actually calls the report directly from the ERP application and renders it as a PDF. The reason we render it as a PDF is this is now portable across devices. So if I'm viewing the portal from a mobile device or any other browser, whether it be Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, etc., PDFs are supported. So we're not using the proprietary reporting system of the ERP application. We're actually calling that rendering as a PDF. But the thing to note here, it's not our own report. We're not redoing your reports. We are leveraging the reports that exist within the ERP application and just rendering those on the portal. So that's it from a sales order perspective. If I go into some of the other integration points, so let's go create one because that'll be a little bit different of an experience. So you see this one also has edit capability. So this one's set up a little bit different with permissions. I could edit different fields. I'm going to skip the edit capability and just go directly to create. It's asking me for the PO reference number. And when we create this order, it's actually making a call directly to the ERP application to get the pertinent defaults. We're not going to have to ask the customer what their sell to and their ship to and things like that are, their address. The ERP application already knows that. So that's exactly what that create did, is call the ERP application to obtain those defaults such that we could not only present them to the customer, but get their confirmation. So maybe if they changed addresses, obviously Las Vegas is not in Arizona, it's in Nevada, you could change and update those directly on the order itself, as well as the ability to add items to this. So the items are querying the inventory items directly from the ERP application that are applicable for this customer. So in this case, they are being filtered. We're not just showing them all items, we're showing the items that they are specifically configured to purchase. So I added a couple items. We could see those are also added to this order. At any point I could update and save this, or I could submit it. The submission in my current workflow, our current setup, I should say, invokes a Microsoft Flow workflow. And right now it's only sending me an email, of which I'll show you here in a second. But you could have that configured to do such things as mobile notifications, call people's cell phones, integrate with your CRM system if you're using that for managing new orders. Really all of the capability that is possible with Microsoft Flow. Let's do one more on the customer side and then we'll shift gears a little bit. So let's look at maybe my profile data. So this is the idea that the customer is now responsible for managing their contacts and could create new contacts as well as update the phone number and email of their contacts that reside within your ERP. So if I were to create a new contact here, and say Mike. Oops. This is going to create that directly into the ERP application, but like I said, if you wanted to have workflow associated to that, you most certainly can as well. So sure enough, there's the new record I created, and if I were to open up ERP, it would be right there. Again, we are not storing any of this detail. We are not taking the place of the ERP application as being the system of record. So that's it from a customer portal. I'll go ahead and shift gear to a vendor portal. Vendor portal, as you probably notice here, is very much the same look and feel. The difference, of course, is just going to be the data that I integrate with, as opposed to filtering information for a customer perspective. I'm going to filter it for a vendor. So if I go look at it, as opposed to showing such things as sales orders, I'm going to show such things as purchase orders. Generally speaking, our vendors are not going to create purchase orders, but maybe I want to give them the ability to print them. So they could go print these POs at any time, save them, print them, whatever they want to do with them. Maybe I want to give them the ability to update the PO on my behalf. So if they're delayed on shipment dates, or maybe I'm going to get it ahead of time, as well as to acknowledge it. So that's an obvious one for the vendor. I also have the ability to submit new invoices, look at my historical. So if I click on this, this will show me the status of those invoices, both open and historical invoices. You can see this is just a list of them. It's pretty simple look and feel. But on the customer side, we do have the capability of integrating with payment processing systems such that those could be paid directly from the portal as well. Contact information is clearly the same idea, but on the vendor side as opposed to customer side. Again, I have a Power BI report here, different in nature, as well as a document library and a newsfeed. If I go to my supplier portal, again, same product, just different use case here. This is more geared towards a manufacturing or potentially a distribution type organization. This could be something from a supplier perspective, or maybe my internal employees. I want to give them the capability to see the production that is currently occurring in the system, see the work orders that are residing and their statuses. So here's the work orders that are currently being worked upon in my organization. Again, the report, we will call that report directly from the ERP. It's not going to be a PO report. In this case, it's going to be a component and routing line item production order report. Bill of materials, maybe I'm using contract manufacturers or some type of supplier that I want to interact with. Like I said, the use cases are really endless because the portal is this platform that I could change, all of the data that is being integrated. So let's say that I want to add a lamp for some reason. Let's go ahead and update the 3. I could update that directly on the bill of materials and then change the status of it to certified. Go ahead and update it. Again, I have company information, some of the just standard features there. The invoices we've already talked about, so that's probably all we need from a supplier portal. And then I'm going to show you some of the notifications. So I've been making various updates in the portal, and as I mentioned, we do have the capability to integrate this with Microsoft Flow and send email notifications as well as do approval tasks and things like that. So if I look at some of the emails I've just been triggering, so this was for the new, the PO update. So you can see here we're highlighting the field on the PO that I updated, I confirmed it. This was the sales order update that I performed. So I updated a requested date here on the order. This was the new sales order I submitted. So this was the one I created. And again, this is all just going through email, but it could easily be mobile notifications and things. And this was another update that I did to the purchase order, changing the expected delivery date and then acknowledging it. In addition to having all of these features available from the portal as well as from a mobile view, we can also extend that with, again, more features of the Office 365 platform, namely a product by the name of Power Apps. So I plan to share my phone here really quick and show you a sample Power App that, again, further extends the reach of the ERP application using this Office 365 suite of products in conjunction with our portal. So there's my phone. I'm going to go ahead. I have a service application that I created here. The intent of this is if I have some loyal customers and I want to give them a mobile app for the sake of seeing their service cases and creating new ones. They could obviously do it online in the portal as well. So that's an option, but maybe they prefer to have a mobile application as well. So you can see here, I could see all my cases that have been assigned, see the new cases, things like that, as well as the ability to create a new one. So here's all my existing ones, see the status of them. I'll go ahead and create a new one. Say it's high priority. We'll say it's heating, and since it's winter time across the US, we'll say turn up the heat because we're cold in here. Darn cold. And create that case. Again, workflow is an option, as well as that would be directly created in the ERP application as well. So it would be visible in the portal. There's only one source of truth here. It is all coming from the ERP application. We're not storing, again, anything from the portal perspective. So regardless if it's coming out on the mobile application or from the website, it is all going directly to the ERP. So that was all I had from an overview from a demonstration perspective. We wanted to keep this short, just give everyone a look and feel and what's capable. Again, hopefully you use your imagination on what the pertinent fields and integrations would be for your organization. I'll go ahead and bring back up the presentation here. And Brenda, is there any questions or anything? Or does anyone have any questions? Now would be a great time for us to address those.
Yeah. Yep, with our remaining time, if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to use the Q&A panel on your GoToWebinar panel, and we'll answer in the order received. And Mike, we did have quite a few come through as you were demoing, in particular the customer portal. And you may have covered some of these already, but just to reiterate, in case anyone missed it, is it possible to give customers the ability to upload files in relation to their order submissions and the different file types that are accepted?
Yeah, that's a great question. So file submission, there's usually a couple methods that we do that. One is that they want to upload the file directly to the portal. That could be stored in a SharePoint document library. The other method is that that file should be attached in the ERP application. So we also have that capability as well, such that when the file gets uploaded, it actually gets passed to the ERP as an attachment. So depending on where they want to store it, there's a few options there as far as the upload capability, but most certainly is an option. Other things as far as upload, if they're uploading a lot of documents, there is a SharePoint mobile app that comes from Microsoft, and that gives them the ability to take pictures and upload those directly. So if they're doing quite a few of those, as well as there's ability to do those via email too. So if they're doing a lot of attachments, you could email those directly to a library. So a lot of different options there. It really just depends on where those are being stored and how they are to be submitted by the customer.
Great. Hopefully that helps answer the question. Second one is, can we brand the customer portal per customer so that it displays the customer's logo and their colors when they access after they log in?
Great question. This is deployed to your Office 365 tenant. So this is 100% your branding, your site. You get to do with it whatever you want. The only part that we put there is what's known as an app. So if I were to go, I don't believe I have, maybe I have access as just user. But if I were to go to the contents of this, you would see the application is deployed there. I don't know if I have access from this user's perspective, but the app does get added to the Office 365 site, and that's what enables the integration. But everything is specific to you as a customer. You get to brand this. Obviously, the URL is your URL with Microsoft. It's not ours, etc. So the only thing that gets added to your tenant is the app. So Microsoft has this whole app architecture that allows us to do that.
Perfect. And then is it possible, regarding the help desk tool, is it possible to route the help desk support request to a third-party help desk solution like a Zendesk or other?
That's a great question. So in addition to, there's a lot of standard integrations with Flow, right? So we're using Microsoft.
Oh, Mike, I might have lost your audio. Can you hear us? Okay. I think Mike might have went offline for just a second, or perhaps his screen has frozen. I'll just give him a minute to come back. I'm going to go through the remaining questions while we wait for him to come back online. This is, yep, a couple about the recording. Yes, we are recording this, so we will distribute after the webinar. A few questions about integrations. Are you using AX 2012 R3 on-prem? Will this work for 2012 versions of AX? And yes, that's correct. Multiple versions of Dynamics are supported with the portals. So yes, that will work for NAV, GP, previous versions of AX, as well as the new Dynamics 365 for BC or F&O. Yep, will the portal work with NAV 2015 on-prem? Yes, that's correct. Let's see, and do we have training or a resource to support doing the portals? Yes, absolutely, 100%. If you do wish to have a one-on-one demonstration and choose to move forward with the product, we definitely will provide that to you. And I'll let Mike elaborate more on those options when he's back online. Mike, can you hear me? I'm going to try to use the chat feature here. If anyone in the audience is having trouble hearing, or if it's on my end, please feel free to let me know if perhaps you can hear Mike and maybe it's just on my end. Great, thank you everyone. I appreciate you responding. So it seems to be an issue on Mike's end where he's been disconnected, and I apologize. We do have some weather going through the area here in Southern California. So I actually mentioned to him before the call, I hope we don't have any outages. So the rain is good, but it comes with a little bit of issues sometimes. So unfortunately, we do have a lot of questions remaining, but we do have them logged here. Mike can definitely follow up after the webinar with each of you individually on your remaining questions. I did want to let you know that the webinar is being recorded again, so we will be able to distribute that after. We do have a couple resources available to you that you can take a look at, and we will send them out after the webinar. And of course, more information is available on our website at www.dynamicpoint.com. We were also going to mention that we do have a free consultation available. Mike will follow up with that after the webinar and reach out to those who might be interested in learning a little bit more about the solutions. I appreciate all of your time today. If you do have any remaining questions, you can reach out to us directly via the website, or reach out to me directly at bsomich@dynamicpoint.com, which should be the email that you registered for the webinar too. So please feel free to reach out with any remaining questions, and we will definitely follow up after the webinar. Apologies for the rain delay and the issues that we might be having on our end, but we do thank you all for joining and hope that you have a great rest of your day and a happy holiday season. Thanks everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.